are from Group 7. We present about slope remedial technique at Bukit, Antarabangsa. My name is Siti Hajar binti Bahda and I will present about introduction. Slope failure is a complex phenomenon that may be caused by landslides. Building and infrastructure such as transportation facilities and pipelines located within the boundaries of landslides can be damaged or destroyed. Based on the research from Qasim et al. In 2012, slope failure are geological accesses involving significant soil movement, rockfall, or bluffing. Most landslides are happen from the hillsides, which are caused by the mainly which is surface runoff. As for the next topic is about the case study. The occurrence of the slope failure can be seen as it happened 40 years ago at Bukit Antarabangsa on 6 December 2008, which had destroyed the properties and also the lives of many people. Based on Qasim et al. In 2021, the accident happened due to the strain of the slope, which was unable to support the soil due to the continuous rainfall in that location, which this led to the high water pressure of the slope. With this case study, we propose the suitable techniques for slope remedial work based on geotechnical aspects.
Is Karunisa binti Muhammad Sri CF 190119. Primarily, I will explain the type of slope failure. First one is translational failure. The translational failures occur when a slope fails along a weak zone of soil. Before coming to a stop, the sliding mass can travel a significant distance. It's called an infinite slope when a slope has no definite boundaries. The topsoil of an infinite slope will form a parallel slip surface. Secondly is rotational failure. The failure happens as a result of rotation along a slip surface, which in a curved slip surface. The failure of a surface causes it to slide onwards and downwards. Under the rotational failure, we have base failure, toe failure, and slope failure, or also known as phase failure. Thirdly is flow failure. Flow failure is developed when internal and external factors force a soil to behave like a viscous fluid and flow down even more the slopes and spreading out in multiple directions. Lastly is wedge failure. It's also known as block or plane failure, result in inclined failure plane. Wedge failure is occur when forces from adjacent soil shatter a soil mass along joints, cracks, fissures, and weak zones. Block or wedge slides occur. Next, we move on to slope remedial measures. In the urban environment, slopes occur, and the soil on some of these slopes may be fundamentally unstable. In rural and forest areas, old natural slopes have typically established a degree of stability over time. The decision of an effective slope stabilization method necessitates a detailed examination of the existing slope condition, as well as an assessment of the main reasons of slope instability. Following the identification of the reasons for slope stability, the most appropriate slope remedial measures is chosen based on feasibility, stability, and cost. First method is geometrical method. This method is simple and inexpensive. The stabilization of the slope can be improved by altering the slope angle from steep to marked, and the angle is usually supported by grass bonding with the soil. Trimming the slope or removing additional load from the slope can be used to carry out this strategy. It also can be improved by changing the geometry of a steep slope to a gentler slope, either by flattening the slope or backfilling at the slope toe. Next is drainage method. The drainage method is viable under settings when surface and subsurface drains are properly maintained. The risk of poor water pressure and subsoil saturation building up can be reduced with good surface and subsurface drainage system design. Therefore, slope stability can be increased. In this method, there are two types, that is surface drainage and subsurface drainage, or also known as horizontal drain hole. Lastly is retaining structures method. This approach is fairly costly, but it is quite adaptable. Retaining structures are employed in this manner to withstand the pressuring forces of the soil masses. There are various types of retaining structures such as gravity wall, cantilever wall, and others.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Fatini binti Ahmad Puat, CF190175, and I will be presenting about the proposed technique of slope stability in Bukit Antarabangsa. In this project, we decided to use drainage system to improve the slope stability. This is due to the analysis and research that proved that landslide at Bukit Antarabangsa occurred is due to drainage and pipe system. This drainage system method will be categorized into 4 elements, which is subsoil, surface drainage, subsurface drainage, drainage blanket, and trenches. If drainage system had been improved, the risk of poor water pressure building up and subsoil saturation would have been reduced. Let's look around at the surface drainage. Surface drainage is a simple technique to implement and provide excellent slope protection. There are 2 conditions that should be assessed, which are: the first one is surface water flowing across the face of the slope, and the second one is surface water seeping into and infiltrating into head of the cut. Subsurface drainage is used to control the subsurface water when it is critical because seepage forces increases the driving power of a landslide. If early site investigation reveal the existence of groundwater design studies that significant downslope movement, positive subsurface drainage can reduce the failure potential. There are 3 steps that can be done, which is: first one is apply the drainage blanket and trenches, drainage wheels, and the last one is drainage galleries, adits, or tunnel. Let's proceed to the last step: drainage blanket and trenches. Step: trenches filled with free draining material have been used effectively for shallow subsurface drainage for several decades. Trenches are excavated by backhoe by excavator to depth of 5 to 6 meters by clamshell to greater. Single drainage ditches perpendicular to the facility center line may be sufficient in certain cases. Trenches drains provide additional resistance to possible slide in addition to enabling drainage because the compacted backfill of trench section.
Application of any standard is a standard practice or a guideline. In succeed, the proposed technique, which is our proposed technique, is a drainage method. Okay, in this standard and guideline, we have found a 3 standard and guideline, which is first, the Hillside Development Guide 2020. Second, the Urban Stormwater Management Manual for Malaysia, MASMA, 2nd edition. And the third, JKR Guidelines of Slope Maintenance in Malaysia.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Sharafana Aisyah binti Tramizi. My numerator is CF190241. I'll be continuing to the next part, which long-term stability for the proposed technique, minimizing erosion and slope failure. For the first one, public drainage and conveyance system. The drainage system that collects, drain, and distribute decreased stormwater flow must be properly lined to prevent infiltration to the groundwater contained in the detention facilities must be securely carried down the slope. Next, to minimize high velocities, the public drainage system in hillside location will likely need to integrate devices such as drop structures, cascading drains, or energy dissipator. The last part is property drainage. It should be installed at or below ground level to maximize the interception of surface runoff. The creation of ponding areas due to poor grading of property drainage is not permitted. Slope within the development that are greater than 20% must be protected from the excessive surface flow, which would be regular erosion. Slope should have intermediate drains. Erosion protection can be installed on slope in addition to the above measures. The next part is maintenance and inspection. The drainage system ground level should be as simple as feasible so that the discharge measurement can be linked appropriately to hydrological data. Poor drainage service can be significantly impact a pavement's life and annual paving cost. It can be also have an impact on the traffic safety. clear definitions and requirements for each drainage maintenance operation should be included in the contract documents and monitored on-site to ensure the contractor performs its responsibilities. Inspection frequently and the requirement will be vary depending on the local conditions and should be examined regularly every 2 to 3 years of the site conditions. To achieve construction standard, the work must be supervised on the site, adequately trained drainage engineers or a supervisor responsible for ensuring the work is built according to the designs. Thank you.
In conclusion, slope failure or landslide are geological occurrences that may happen anywhere. Slope failure accident that happened at Bukit Antarabangsa, Selangor had a significant impact on society regarding the accident. In this study, we propose a drainage method. It is suitable for solving the slope failure at the Bukit Antarabangsa as the technique has much potential for success because the danger of poor water pressure build-up and subsoil saturation would have been reduced if a drainage system has been implemented.